I am thrilled to be here with the two Kyles from
Yes,
the
sir.
Baltimore Ravens. Kyle Van Noy, Kyle Hamilton. Guys, very much appreciate the time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
I wanted to start. I feel like I'd be remiss to not ask you about the Niners because you played against them this year, and the Chiefs, I guess. But San Francisco specifically, I'm curious, Kyle, as you guys were building the game plan for the Niners, what was
Kyle?
Let's go this way.
Okay.
When you were building the game plan for the Niners, where did that start? Like, what was the main area of focus? Because they feel like a very pick-your-poison sort of team.
You know, I think it started with the plan of what San Francisco's done to other teams. They've kind of bullied them in the trenches, offensively and defensively. So it started there, just playing with a different type of violence, a violence they're not used to. And then on top of that, just giving Brock Purdy different pictures. I mean, he's in his second year, so being able to trick him is not easy, but it's a little bit when you're looking at it, there's spots where you can take advantage. And we were able to look at the tape and come up with a game plan as far as the players executing it and the coaches giving us a great game plan to go execute. And then it happened to be a turnover fest, and we just capitalized. I know everyone's like, oh, the turnovers were lucky, but they were good plays by Kyle getting, chop blocked and then getting his ass up and catching the ball.
I was rewatching that one yesterday. That is just a very chaotic play overall, every single part of it. I'm wondering, when you guys are building sort of the pressure packages that you use, how much of it is checks in the moment, Kyle, based on a certain motion, a certain formation? If you get to put a percentage on, what percentage of those pressures are called versus what percentage you check into? What would you say?
I'd probably say, and you can tell me if you agree on this or not, I'd probably say it's like 80-20 called.
Okay.
Some calls are based on distribution, 3x1, 2x2, whatever it may be, but for the most part, shout out to Mike Mack, who's got the Seahawks job. It's all in his head, and it's probably more like 90-10, honestly. But he's always going to put us in the right position to go make plays, and that's why our defense looked so good this year, because he was at the head of it.
Your role specifically, I mean, you came into this season, I think the idea was for you to play more safety, right? Bat base compared to what you did last year. Injuries happen, Geno starts playing well, you start playing more in the slot. How does your role get built every single week? Like, what is the timeline of it?
Yeah, I think it's it gets introduced to me on Tuesdays. I think I know Mike and the whole D staff is up there on Monday concocting whatever game plan we have that week. But it does feel like sometimes when we're in the defensive meeting room, like we're having like a one-on-one meeting sometimes, because they're just like, all right, Kyle, you do this and then do that. But no, I love it. It's awesome, and if it's going to help our team, our defense get stops, and I'm all for it, whatever position I may be playing.
What's the hardest part of juggling all of it, though?
I think it's just clicking into a different mindset. It's like going from left tackle to right tackle. You got a whole different plate of responsibilities. Nickel may not be as vocal, but once I go back to safety, I got to click back into being very vocal and talking to corners, backers, everybody. But I think it's made me a better player. It's made me a smarter player, and I get a better understanding of all levels of the defense.
You've seen a ton of defensive systems in the league. You've been around for a while. You played for a lot of different coaches. You got there 3 weeks into the year in Baltimore, and it seemed pretty seamless getting integrated into what they were doing. What's different about the flexibility of that system that you guys ran with Mike this year?
I think it was just multiple, and then the pressure package that he's created. It's the best in the NFL. I can say that easily. It was definitely the best. I mean, the time and detailed. I mean, we spent a whole meeting on it. So just that detail of getting it all ironed out before you go execute it is, I haven't seen anything like it. So it's definitely the best in the business right now, and you'll see more and more teams probably copy it.
It's 5 or 6 teams now are going to run your guys' system next year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
The system du jour. The flexibility, do you feel like it's language, the way it's taught? Like, why do you think you guys can be like chameleon-like between games in a way that maybe other defenses don't have a sense of how to do that?
Yeah, I credit it a lot to our coaches.
Okay.
It's crazy how
I'm going to stop. You're crediting them, but you have players like this guy.
That's right.
I don't want that to go unnoticed either. But keep going. Sorry.
No, yeah, I mean, he's right. Both sides play a big role in it. You got to have the guys that can execute it. You also have to have the guys that can draw up the plays to be executed. So, but it's the way our defense is set up. It allows everybody to make plays, and I don't think I heard one time this year about anybody complaining about the lack of plays they have in a game or something like that. But, just the duality of our defense as a whole, it's kind of built through camp. and then reps and reps and reps, because it's not easy at all. We'll be, like you said, kind of chameleons. One week we'll play our quarters coverage this way, and next week we'll change it completely. So, Wednesday practice might be a little rough. There might be some F-bombs on Wednesday practice, but Thursday comes around, gets a little better. Friday getting good, and then Saturday we're locked in.
I had a Chiefs coach tell me that the almost sack that you had in the AFC Championship game is the first time Mahomes got fooled by a pressure and didn't identify it correctly in 2 months.
Yeah, that was also
really? I didn't hear that.
Game plan, though. Like, it's something we talked about, and it's actually pretty easy. There's keys, but we won't go over those.
I'm wondering, did you have a favorite blitz or pressure look this year that they allowed you to kind of be unleashed on?
Yeah, I think I really honed in on my disguises, because I feel like when I'm at nickel, I'm kind of the read because I would blitz so much off the edge and, get TFLs or sacks and stuff like that. And, after the Indianapolis game, I was talking to guys that we played after that. They were like, we would check. As soon as we see nickel pressure, when you're at nickel, we would check away from it. So that was good for me to hear, because I disguise it when I'm looking at the TV copies of whatever teams that we're playing. I'm seeing their cadences and stuff like that, and picking up quarterback tendencies, and when they're about to fake snap the ball or dummy count or whatever it may be, holding my shell. And I think that's what messed up Mahomes. He gave us his dummy, and then I held my water, and then came on the snap. And shout out to other guys, obviously, the way that Mike sets up the pressures. We're showing on this side, so you're checking over here, and then we have some come from another way, or we may bring it from over there. It's just, it sounds like chaos, like as I'm talking about it right now.
It feels like chaos, but it's controlled. Like it's hard for them, but easy for you guys.
Yeah,
and I think that's what really sets it apart.
But after he was saying giving credit to the coaches, but you just heard his explanation, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's 22 already doing this. Like, I'll tell everybody he's the most impressive second-year guy I've probably played with in my career. But what separates him is he is the guy in the back that handles all those things. You're able to do crazy things because you have a guy like him who can play in the slot, play deep, play half, play quarters, take out a receiver, take out a tight end. It's and blitz. You have another guy like Marlowe. I wish he was more healthy this year, because that could have been another dynamic they could have put in with him, who's in the slot, who's blitzing, different things like that. But having players like him, having players like Roquan and PQ able to do multiple different things, that just is the reason why the playbook can get wider and wider and wider. You have very, very smart players on the field, very athletic, very talented.
The defense is an expression of the talent. It is an expression of the personnel, which I think that's what makes it beautiful. You guys are here with Bounty. Let me know what Bounty is doing for the Super Bowl this year and kind of what they want us to know.
You got the slogan, right? Slogan down is you don't have football without wings, right?
Yep.
And then without wings, you can't have Bounty without that. You know what I mean?
Fact. No, he's right. Bounty's kind of keeping track of the amount of wings eaten by each city, and there's kind of a competition going up until the Super Bowl. And we just had some disappointing numbers seeing where Baltimore was out on that list.
Oh, man. Got to get those up.
Right behind a city in western Pennsylvania that we don't really like.
Come on, man.
But, there's still time left, and I feel like we're going to make a push.
Sounds great, guys. Really appreciate the time. Thanks for having me here.
Appreciate you. Thank you.